Hi everybody, it's your boy Dave filming some Ultimate Fishing Simulator. It's a game that came out a few years ago, and did a lot of videos on the Ultimate Fishing Simulator. Um, I got a couple in my channel, but um, I started this probably 2 years ago. So for anybody who's interested in how I do it as one of the top level dudes on this thing, guess I'd show you my little secrets and stuff. It's no big secret, but when you first start out with the Ultimate Fishing Simulator, you might be kind of lost. So right now what I'm doing is I'm changing a part of the lake. So here's this where you have, this is I'm on Betty Lake here. Here's all the fish you can get: rainbow trout, brown trout, brook trout, bull trout, etc. I like to go to this rock, and this is basically what a lot of people just call the rock. And I'm fishing with a three rod pod. So I'm going to press U and the pod will come up. I put one of my poles on there, and up here I can choose which rod I want to use. So this one I have, this is like a level 21 rod and reel. I'm using a float, using some pretty heavy line. There's my feeder bait, which is a smelly fish, and then I got some maggots on there. So all we do, if we want to cast, we can right click the right mouse button and then just let it rip. Press U to set back on the rod pod. Come back over here, use the set. Same deal on this one. I come over here and throw my line out there. Press U again, and then I go back to my. So now this is my bite indicator that tells me there's a fish on there. So all I'm going to do, I'm using a controller. So I'm going to use the left button to start to reel it in, and you can see down below where it goes green and then it goes red. That's the amount of tension. So if I up the drag on it, it's going to get harder to pull in. This will increase on the right side. On the bottom will increase your reel rate. I usually set it down to 0 so I don't break the line because of tension. But as you can see on the bottom right, what's happening there is I'm going from, so I got 172, 170, 50, whatever. That's how many feet I got left to bring this fish in. So I'm bringing the fish in. I'm keeping it at 0. I could up it a little bit, the drag up to like 20. Usually when they come in, they start putting up a little more of a fight. See how he's kind of taking off there? So then I'll put the drag back down to 0 because he's starting to run. Come back around here. Like I said, it's not rocket science. It's kind of a fun little game. Been playing it for a while. And this is a rainbow trout, and let's see how much he weighs. So he's 43 pounds. That's a pretty good size. They max out at about 50. So I'm going to release him so I can get some more experience. And then I'll come back over here. Still got my bait on there. Always check your baits because sometimes the fish will bite them off. And here's the leaderboard. My screen name is DobGuy1. So let's see if it'll come up. And there I'm at the #1 spot. But the reason is because I'm a level 23. So you see this other guy's got level 25. most people, if you go down the list, you know, you're gonna see like a lot of, you know, level. There's one that's level 17. A lot of people are like level 9, level 4, level 3. So once you get up to level 23, like up here, you're getting bigger fish. So you can see the biggest weight is 50.66. If I go here, I go to the biggest fish, I'm sitting there at the top on the biggest fish. So um, it's not really, it's just a game that I've been playing for a long time. So anybody can really get up to the higher levels. It's a matter of putting the time in on this little game to catch the fish. And once you get higher up, then obviously you're going to be catching bigger fish. You also have access to bigger rods and reels, heavier gear, so you can bring in those big fish. I recommend using these pods. Some people don't like to use the rod pods and just prefer to use like maybe one. They use like uh, one rod, you know. That way they don't really have to maintain 3 different rods at one time. But if we go back over here, we can see that if we're looking at baits, maggot, this lake here is full of rainbow trouts, brown trouts, brook trouts, bull trouts, cutthroat trouts. So I use the maggots. You can also use flies at this lake. You can use dragonflies, wax worms, natural eggs, dragonflies. Those are usually good. Those bring in some good sized fish. Rainbow trout, and for the you use grasshopper. So those are the main baits for here. As far as the rods go, I usually go with a casting rod. I'm using this rod here, which is $2,334. Kind of pricey for a rod. But then if you look up here at my bank, I'm at $222,000. So it takes a while to get to that point, but kind of makes it worth it. And then up in the right left corner, you see other people who are playing. I know quite a few of the people in here. We have our little rivalry going, which is kind of fun. It's on fun. It's not like any big competition or anything. Um, and yeah, it's a cool game. Some people diss it, you know, say that the graphics aren't as good as some other games, but I have a tendency to think that I've tried other games. Um, try Eurofishing, which is Eurofishing pretty cool. They do have an Ultimate Fishing 2 that came out, which is really, I kind of like it. I haven't played a whole lot. I always seem to navigate back to this Betty Lake, but with the Ultimate Fishing, there's a whole bunch of there's DLC lakes that you can buy, and then and so total I think you have like 8 to 10 lakes or something like that. And you can get to you can actually on some of the other lakes you can get marlin. You can catch Greenland sharks, which get over like 3,000 pounds, which is pretty cool. But this Betty Lake is usually pretty much I guess the default lake that most people go to because it's the first lake that you start out on, and it's pretty easy. It's not really complicated. You don't have to have higher gear to start fishing at it. In fact, Betty Lake is the first lake that you start out at. So, so that's basically the whole thing of it. You know, you just catch these fish. It's kind of a grind, but once you get the hang of it, it can be actually kind of fun. All right, thanks for watching. Hope it helped.